starting to be a starting to get serious. Yeah, karma's a bitch. Something we gotta live with. Something we all gotta live with. Something we gotta live with. You gonna speak the truth? Make sure it's the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help you God. Pattern for me. Okay. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God. I do. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. So, roll one out. Y'all gonna smoke one with me real quick? Y'all better put in on this shit or you ain't hitting it. It's murder. I'm not smoking no bullshit today. You gotta talk about motherfuckers' daddy issues. You got daddy issues? Yeah, we all do. I just went and seen Black Widow yesterday. It's a great, great movie. You motherfuckers with daddy issues, go see Black Widow. You know what I'm saying? You think you got daddy issues? Go see the daddy issues that Black Widow had. Man, that was a great movie. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the greatest Marvel movie. You know what I'm saying? But yo, tell your dad I said happy birthday. Tell him I said happy birthday. This is a good message. See, what is it? Cancer season? Damn. So, man, you either got a really good dad or a dad with a lot of issues. Mine, I guess that's a vague answer. Every dad got a lot of issues, but you know what I'm saying. This week, we're in fourth house. Your dad born this week. Your dad is very intense. Hopefully, he was raised right by his dad. We're gonna talk about this shit. So, I'm gonna tell y'all a story. Let's say I go see an astrologer, sit down with her, and start saying, "So, what type of reading do you want? You know, what do you mean?" I said, regular reading." He said, "Okay, what's gonna cost you? $25, $30, $40, 50, whatever, whatever they charge." I said, "Okay, not a problem. But before you give me this reading, I want to talk to you about something." "Oh yeah, what's up? Tell me about your dad." What? Tell me about your dad. Your dad, the guy who gave birth. Tell me about him. Close the door. It's a private conversation. Like, tell me about your dad. I don't want to know about the planets. I don't want to know about the sun. I don't want to know about the moon. I don't want to know about what's in retrograde. Don't tell me no shit about my sign, my moon. Tell me about your fucking dad. Before you gonna tell me some shit. Tell me about your dad. You know how that conversation going in? 9 times 10. They gonna sit there. They gonna need your motherfucking advice. Cause their dad, as I did, think they fucking crazy. Their dad didn't teach them the shit that they sitting there kicking in your fucking ear. Did your dad teach you this shit? No. Okay. How the fuck do I know that? Am I the psychic or you the psychic? If you a psychic, how the fuck I know that your dad did not sit you down and teach you shit? What do your dad think about this shit you're doing? Do you read him? Do you read your dad? Do you give him readings and shit? Does he believe this shit that you're kicking? Tell me about your dad. You know what? Fuck that. Don't tell me about your dad. I don't know about your dad. Tell me about his dad. What did he teach your dad? What did your dad's dad teach him that he turned around and taught you? You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers start shaking and shit. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers' heart rate changed and shit. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? You gotta, you got daddy issues. How the fuck you out here giving motherfuckers advice when you don't have a solid understanding of who your dad is and your relationship with this information with your dad? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do this shit look to your dad? Is he subscribed to your channel? Do he believe what you're saying as the end all? Do he see you as the end all, as the shit you're sitting trying to keep? Do he tune in to your, to your readings and shit like that? You know what I'm saying? Most of the time, you might run a few exceptions. You get a couple. I know you're trying to fall in between the cracks of what I'm saying, but you're not. You know what I'm saying? You forget what they call it, anomaly. You may run into those couple of anomalies like the gypsy families and shit. They be passing it down from generation to generation. A lot of times they be on the matriarch side, like the mom will teach the daughter, and then the daughter teach her, hey, what up, people, what up, people. Sometimes a lot of times you get like that. But you know what I'm saying? Typically, you know what I'm saying, especially in this environment, you know what I'm saying, where I'm at in the United States, especially in Chicago. So I'm saying you don't see a lot of dads teaching their son shit. Like, you know what I'm saying, the whole relationship be fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Peace, what up, people, what up, what up. You know what I'm saying? The relationship be fucked up. You know what I'm saying? My dad, he didn't teach me this shit. You know what I'm saying? I had to learn this shit on my own. You know what I'm saying? So, the more I started to study this shit, you know what I'm saying, you become more locked in. You start reading your father, you start doing, you know what I'm saying, his sign and shit. Like, you start telling yourself, oh, okay, this is what this is. You start getting your own perspective on your relationship with your dad. But is it the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you guide it. What you saying? You know what I'm saying? Are you justifying some type of hole that, like, you know what I'm saying, and that, um, you know, a lot of people who say this shit, a lot of times they find themselves in a situation where they think they're smarter than their parents. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because you know esoteric information. You know what I'm saying? You might be trying to find yourself teach that shit to your parents. Like, you know what I'm saying? But your parents ain't gonna never believe that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna listen to that shit. You know what I'm saying? And if they do, like, you know what I'm saying, they gonna entertain it a little bit, but they never gonna see you as the end all. They gonna be like, where the fuck you learn that from? Like, they ain't gonna never see you as, you know what I'm saying? Because they didn't hand you that. They didn't pass it down, you know what I'm saying, from the family. So there's always gonna be a separation from your biological family and then the astrological star family that you going into. Like, so you always gonna be in that separation. You know what I'm saying? You never gonna bring your whole family over into be, you know what I'm saying, your star family. You know what I'm saying? Ain't gonna never happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is written this way. It's like it's not designed. The planet ain't designed to, you know what I'm saying, operate off astrology. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not. You know what I'm saying? If it was, you know what I'm saying, then it would be. Like, so this information would be secret, it would be esoteric. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that should tell you that, like, you know what I'm saying, the world don't operate off this shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to you, you know what I'm saying, and you being a good son or a good daughter, you know what I'm saying, technically, you know what I'm saying, you studying this shit, 9 out of 10, you kind of fell off the grid somewhere. Like, you know what I'm saying, in regards to, like, you might be the weirdo in the family. Like, you know what I'm saying, your parents might think you a little weird or a little strange, or, like, you know what I'm saying, you into voodoo, or, like, they might think you worship the devil and shit like this. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, this is written this way. You know what I'm saying? This is by design. This, like, you know what I'm saying? This ain't a, it's hard for a lot of times. How the fuck you an astrologer and you can't see this shit coming? You know what I'm saying? Who's really the motherfucker predicting the future here? Like, so you can tell me about the sun, the moon, the stars, and all that shit, and you can't tell me why the fuck your father didn't teach you this shit. You see what I'm saying? So what up, people? What up? You know what I'm saying? So you start looking at your father different. You start looking at him differently. You know, like, you might find yourself thinking that you supposed to be educating them and shit like that, and you know what I'm saying, you and your mom, and the situation of your mom, you know what I'm saying, might help even influence that, you know what I'm saying, and push the fire and flames, you know what I'm saying, whatever issues y'all got, you know what I'm saying, but at some point, you're gonna have to question whether or not you give up on your dad or not, like, you know what I'm saying, and then, like, you know what I'm saying, how do you amend it, how do you make your spirituality flow right with your dad, you know what I'm saying, there's always gonna be an authority an authority dynamic that, you know what I'm saying, in regards to what you know and the experience that he's had on this planet. You know what I'm saying? He's always gonna feel that his experience outweighs whatever knowledge that you got. You know what I'm saying? Experience always outweighs, you know what I'm saying, knowledge. So you always gonna be caught in this dynamic. You know what I'm saying? So you know, how you treat it, how you nurture that dynamic goes a lot into, you know what I'm saying, not necessarily um, the intrinsic value of that situation. You know what I'm saying? But it's more so what the fuck you was looking for. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like why you started studying. Like, this is what I was talking about last night video. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to remember your why. Like, why you started studying this shit in the first place. You know what I'm saying? And the situation with your father, a lot of times, your dad, you know what I'm saying, could propel you into uh, going further into this shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Further into this shit and thinking you then surpassed your dad. You see what I'm saying? So if you don't know how you feel about this, like, you know what I'm saying, then maybe you need to start questioning what it is the fuck you looking for. Like, you know what I'm saying? Are you trying to be, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, in the order of things, you know what I'm saying, this is a generational thing. Mind you, you know what I'm saying, we was it Pluto, Scorpio, you know what I'm saying? Different generations and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got Pluto and Libra, you know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? This generation, like, you know what I'm saying? It's a Scorpio. Like, you go see Black Widow, you know what I'm saying? There's a Scorpion effect going on, in effect that, like, you know what I'm saying? There's an urge to kill, you know, expose, tear to shreds, and destroy, you know what I'm saying, the previous generation before. Like, so I'm saying, you go into the net energy in Kabbalah. You know what I'm saying? The big secret about Netzach energy, which is divine feminine, you know what I'm saying? Like, using feminine energy in a tactical manner. You know what I'm saying? Whether good or bad. You know what I'm saying? A big part of Netzach energy is victory. In that, like, you know what I'm saying, victory over an opponent. Like, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, you go to church with a woman, for example, you know what I'm saying, and then, like, the preacher be up there talking about the enemy this, and the enemy wants to see you not doing good, and the enemy that, and, like, your wife start looking over at you like you the motherfucking enemy and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's Netzach. And then, like, you know what I'm saying, a lot of times women get this energy and feel that they got to use it to defeat an enemy, to have victory. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you like, I want to be right. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times that sets up a dynamic of um, enemies. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even if it's just in family and shit like this. Like, you know what I'm saying? You start to want to have a victory and be right more so than be a good son or daughter. You see what I'm saying? So when you don't realize this is happening, you go further and further into this spiral. You know what I'm saying? You find yourself talking down on your parents and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? My father's dead. You know what I'm saying? My father used to beat the shit out of me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Literally beat the shit out of me. You know what I'm saying? But he had a lot of PTSD, and he didn't really know that shit. Wasn't really diagnosed. Plus, he was on different types of medication. He used to have seizures. He had epilepsy. You know what I'm saying? My father was a lot of shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? My father got his brains beat in. You know what I'm saying? When he was like 18, 19 years old. You know what I'm saying? Over a chick. You know what I'm saying? That was some stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying, when they cracked his skull open, you know what I'm saying, when they cracked his skull, he never was the same. He used to have seizures and shit. He used to have to take phenobarbital. You know what I'm saying? He used to have seizures, and, like, he used to have blackout and have fucking just have fucking like fucking, he going rants and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? He'd be walking around the house and talking like crazy, just like rants about, you know what I'm saying, his, like, he would see me and my brothers as his brothers. Like, he would go, like, you know what I'm saying, into, like, that time. He would, it would have moments like he have a seizure and, like, literally go back into the time, you know, when he was 18, 19, 20 years old. So, like, he talked to us, like, it was weird to see, man, but, like, you know, so we see this shit all the time. Like, he talked to me, he called me Byron, you know what I'm saying, which is his younger brother. You know what I'm saying? He would call um my younger brother Mark, which is actually his younger brother. You know what I'm saying? He would call my older brother Rob. Sometimes he would call him Byron, which is, you know what I'm saying, his younger brother. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, he would use the words interchangeably, but, like, we could see that in his mind he was seeing us as his brothers back then. Like, you know what I'm saying? And you know, uh, he would go through these, like, you know what I'm saying, seizures and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? When we used to watch this shit, you know, growing up, you know, it's one thing when you're a kid watching, you know what I'm saying? But then, like, when you get older and you start to, you know what I'm saying, watch it, you know, you start to understand, like, man, like, my father went through, you know what I'm saying, a lot of shit. So, like, you know, as all of our dads go through this shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So when you when you get the answer, like, you know what I'm saying, we come along, we get the, from Pluto and Libra and Pluto and Scorpio energy, saying the internet come along, saying we get access to all this information, you know what I'm saying, we can find out the things that they didn't necessarily understand, like, you know what I'm saying, you start wanting to do away with that shit. You want to start like you go watch Black Widow. You supposed to you kind of want to um, um, kill the previous generation and start the next generation. You know what I'm saying? So that's where we at kind of at right now. You know what I'm saying? The mystic energy and the esoteric shit is only further advancing that death. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you got a lot of people who think we should hurry up and kill it. The previous generation should hurry up and die so we bring forth this new generation. And then you got, you know what I'm saying, another set of people who is trying to connect the generation, you know what I'm saying, the previous generation with this generation. You know what I'm saying? Esoteric information, a lot of times it has the answers, you know what I'm saying, that could connect it, you know what I'm saying, but the problem is most people who practice it don't know how to go about actually, like, you know what I'm saying, speaking it in a way where, you know, it don't necessarily have to, you know what I'm saying, be on the surface where it's actually esoteric. Like, it's an art to this shit. Like, you know what I'm saying, like a lot of music, a lot of songs, a lot of media and shit like this, they capture real esoteric symbols and then, like, they figure out ways to deliver this shit, you know what I'm saying, in a medium that can, you know what I'm saying, have an effect on people, you know what I'm saying. So, where we at right now, with your message that you giving out to your people, you gotta remember that you still somebody's child yourself. Like, you know what I'm saying. So you want to get information in accordance to, you know what I'm saying. You want to get information like that, like, you know what I'm saying, and that, you know what I'm saying, like, um, from a number of perspectives, and then, like, Joe, like, you ain't the end all to this shit, you know what I'm saying. First of all, second of all, you know what I'm saying, a lot of astrology, a lot of esoteric information is relative truth. It's like it's truth that's relative to other truth, like, you know what I'm saying. So, like, motherfucker could be right, you know what I'm saying, in this particular shit. It's probability shit, you know what I'm saying. A lot of shit, it's probability. It ain't truth per se, like, you know what I'm saying. It's like more than likely this is what's gonna happen, like, you know what I'm saying. So it's like truths relative to other truths. You know what I'm saying? When you get on a motherfucking stand, you take oath, they say you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So if you got, so you be like, okay, what's the absolute truth? Like, you know what I'm saying? Another concept I was talking about was like nervous system. Like, you know what I'm saying? Astrology, a lot of times, it's like, it helps with your, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like you think of it as your nervous system. You know what I'm saying? But the truth itself is like your central nervous system. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you ain't fucking with esoteric astrology shit. You gotta have a nervous system, but, you know what I'm saying, until you reach absolute truth, you know what I'm saying, you ain't got a central nervous system. You know what I'm saying? You need to know where this shit is going. You know what I'm saying? Not even from an astrological standpoint, but from a light standpoint. Like, you know what I'm saying? Real light versus fake light. You know what I'm saying? This light is light above me right here. Like, you know what I'm saying? But cut the light off. You know what I'm saying? The light outside. You know what I'm saying? That's like real light. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? You sit there talking to me, you forget that, like, you know what I'm saying, the real light outside, it ain't nothing like this right here. Like, this is bullshit. Like, that's the real light. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you can't let this shit fool you. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference between real light and fake light. You know what I'm saying? So, when you understand, like, where this is going, where light came from, what light really is, like, you know what I'm saying? Light is truth, mind you. You know what I'm saying? You could be able to look at this video and see and know that, like, okay, yeah, the lights, like, you know what I'm saying, you see, like, that ain't real light, you know what I'm saying, versus, like, real light. You know what I'm saying? You sit down and talk to astrologers, you know what I'm saying, people do esoteric information like this. You gotta remember that, like, they part of a chain of command, they goddamn self. And, like, you know what I'm saying, just like me, you know what I'm saying, somewhere along the line, motherfucker then fell off that chain of command in their family. Not necessarily fell off, but, like, they on the outskirts of they family. Like, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of people who do it try have given up on their dad. You know what I'm saying? My message is a lot different from that. Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of things I go in here and rant. You know what I'm saying? My father's a Libra. I never did a video on Libra. You know what I'm saying? I could never bring myself to do a video on why I hate Libras. You know what I'm saying? And that, you know what I'm saying, even though I got a ton of information on it, you know what I'm saying, from my father. So I'm saying, but I'm kind of biased in that. I've said this multiple times on the channel. I'm kind of biased toward Libras, like, you know what I'm saying. And that it's kind of some shit I know, but it's some shit I kind of don't want to know, like, you know what I'm saying, because like in the process of me trying to heal the dynamic of what I got going on with my father, you know what I'm saying, I don't like the further I go into that, I kind of bring up my dad's demons, like, you know what I'm saying, like my dad had PTSD and didn't know this shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? We didn't even find out what PTSD was after he died. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, to, when you bring up them demons, oh shit, don't do that, nigga. Hold on. You bring up them, see, that shit. You bring up them demons, that shit. It get volatile. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'd be like, man, like, you know, I don't want to put that information out. You know what I'm saying? My father passed. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's like a closed chapter for me. So like, I don't. A lot of times you don't see me speaking on Libra too much on this channel. You know what I'm saying? Because them is real demons to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? So when I have that type of closure with my dad, you know what I'm saying? It it allowed me to operate. You know what I'm saying? But like in the reality of it, what I'm saying, a lot of people in this who in this field of work that we in, you know what I'm saying, they fall into the same shit. Like they find themselves, you know what I'm saying, trying to educate and teach they dad. You know what I'm saying? And you like, hold on, Joe, like that's part of a fucking algorithm. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? You want to get real light. You know what I'm saying? The real light is, you know what I'm saying, we all play in a position in this world that we live in. You know what I'm saying? And the more you turn the light on, you know what I'm saying, in this world, you know what I'm saying, you just fall into a better position. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to overstep your boundaries, you know what I'm saying, especially you know what I'm saying, with your you know what I'm saying, with your parents, especially your dad. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the messages I'm giving this week, you know what I'm saying, it's not a real popular message, obviously, you know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying, it's more humble message, obviously, you know what I'm saying? But it's the reality, you know what I'm saying? It's the things that I like to put out to remind y'all I'm not an astrologer, you know what I'm saying? And I'm kind of telling y'all why I'm not an astrologer, like, you know what I'm saying? Because these are the things I see a lot of times wrong with astrology, you know what I'm saying? And like not just astrology, but esoteric. People study esoteric spirituality, fucking you know what I'm saying, spiritual metaphysics, Kabbalah, Netunita, all of the things that I studied, you know what I'm saying, in the past. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming to a point now where like I'm starting to treat all of that just as one thought. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm not picking that apart anymore. I'm kind of seeing that whole shit as just one shit, and it allows me to maneuver with it, you know what I'm saying, a lot more easier. You know what I'm saying? So I can see that whole that's like a dynamic now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Okay, the people who do this type of shit fall into this type of, like, you know what I'm saying, 90% of the time they fall into this type of dynamic. You know what I'm saying? Like me looking at that, like I with Jupiter being in Aquarius, like I was like, man, I don't want to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? I gotta a higher message, like, you know what I'm saying? And it starts a lot of times with your dad. You know what I'm saying? In the relationship you have with your dad. It starts there. Like way more than you think. It's a lot of shit I'm not telling you. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all just, like I said, y'all just not really ready to hear. You know what I'm saying? So the way I'm explaining this information, you know what I'm saying? I'm kind of fucked up to say, but I'm being vague. But you want to, I don't want to, you know what I'm saying, give you my answers and tell you that these are, you know what I'm saying, the answers. You know what I'm saying? If you want to know the answers, you know what I'm saying, you hit me up, I'll talk to you, you know what I'm saying, one on one. But you want to get to the whole truth and nothing but the truth. You know what I'm saying? So help you God. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be out here spitting relative truths. You know what I'm saying? Thinking you smarter than, you know what I'm saying, the experience that your dad has. You know what I'm saying? Even if you really, you know what I'm saying, you really insist that you are. You know what I'm saying? You want to, be still keep all the shit in its proper place. If that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So some people look at this shit as humble. To me, it's not humble. It's common sense. Like, you know what I'm saying? You get past the point where it's not humble. No, it's common sense. You go through as many experiences I have. You know what I'm saying? Your message is gonna start to, you know what I'm saying, eventually sound like this if you want some real shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, yeah. Last thing too, like, you know what I'm saying? The word father ain't used right. You know what I'm saying? Like, the way we use that shit. You know what I'm saying? We throw it around a lot. You know what I'm saying? You know. Like people say, father, like I can father somebody's style, like Jay-Z kind of fathered Kanye style, you see what I'm saying? Or like, You could even say like a foster, like a foster parent. It starts with F. Like a patriarchy is father. Like you know what I'm saying. These take on different kind of take like you know what I'm saying. It's a vague word. Like you know what I'm saying. Father don't. You say even like the word dad. Like you supposed to ask somebody, okay, what's the difference between dad and father? Like you know what I'm saying. Most people don't think about this type of shit. Like so it's all the same shit. It's all vagueness sitting up inside their head. Same reason why you ask somebody, what is a man? Like you know what I'm saying. It's a very vague answer. A lot of times you go, oh, well, a man is. You ask a woman, what a man? Oh, man's supposed to do this. Man, like, no, that ain't what a man is. So you say, well, this is a man. Like, no, that ain't what a man is either. You know, it's you got to be really specific, especially you speaking in the English language. Like you know what I'm saying, because like this is a weak ass language. You know what I'm saying? You take the word father and run it through different languages. You start to come up with all type of fucking shit that we don't even have words for in this language. Like you know what I'm saying? So the way people say dad, daddy, papa, father, um, you know how the connotation, the etymology of these words. Like what do you call your dad? You know what I'm saying? That's another thing. Like you know something to think about. You know what I'm saying? In today's time, do you call him dad? Do you call him daddy? Do you call him pop? Do you call him your old man? Do you call him by his first name? You know what I'm saying? The word that you choose to refer to your dad a lot of times reflects the way that you were raised and the insecurities that you may have about your dad, and that just along the word that you choose and how you refer to him. You know what I'm saying? You saw him daddy. You know what I'm saying? Like certain girls say daddy. You know, like, but you know, you a grown ass woman still using this word, shit like this. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can learn a lot from asking somebody to explain who their dad was. Like, so it's a conversation a lot of times nobody want to have. Like, so a lot of times end in tears. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all type of insecurities. You know what I'm saying? The more you talk to people about their dad, that's how you really learn, you know, what's going on with them. And then especially when you start talking about their granddad, and you're like, okay, well, what about his dad? You know what I'm saying? What did he teach him? What did he teach your dad? You know what I'm saying? And what type of, do you have kids? You know what I'm saying? Do you have grandkids? You know what I'm saying? What type of grandfather are you gonna be? You know what I'm saying? You know, when they hear your voice, how's it gonna sound to them? Are they gonna hear about a bunch of planets and stars and space and a bunch of shit that they don't even fucking know? Like, oh yeah, you're an Aquarius and you're a moon. You gotta know what this means. And you're like, are you gonna sit around and talk about this shit with your grandkids? You know what I'm saying? When they 2, 3, 4, 5 years old, what type of interactions can you have? You know what I'm saying? At that point, you know what I'm saying? Mind you, in Kabbalah, this is what we call dot. Like you know what I'm saying? Dot, DAAT. You know what I'm saying? Because you get to Malkuth, a lot of times you spend so much time trying to get to Malkuth, you're not thinking about dot. You know what I'm saying? So like dot is kind of like if your grandkids was alive today. You know what I'm saying? What type of shit would you be on interacting with? You don't even want to think about no shit like this. It's really like with dot. It's just like, man, I don't think about no shit like that. Like you kind of think about it, but like to actually be in that moment right now, like you know what I'm saying, and how you see yourself in a situation like that. I'm saying that's real dot. So like you gotta say like you kind of sitting right now like are kind of like the eventuality of your grandfather's dot. Like you know what I'm saying, and then like you ask okay like what type of relationship you got with your granddad right now, regardless if he's dead or not. What type of memories do you have with your granddad? And like all those memories were technically like his dot. It was like his. You were like the eventuality of all his experiences. Like you know what I'm saying. So how that's nurtured in your life makes a difference as far as in the insecurities that you have. You know what I'm saying, moving through your spirituality. Like you know what I'm saying. Um, so you moving forward, your dot is already being created right now. Like you know what I'm saying, that's like grandkids or like not even necessarily even biological grandkids, but like you know the shit you teaching people and then the shit that they go teach other people. You know what I'm saying? By the time they hear your voice, like you know what I'm saying, like I'm teaching y'all. You know what I'm saying? Kinda. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really teaching. I'm just sharing y'all experience. But like from a concept of like you know the average person looking at it, it's like I'm teaching y'all. You know what I'm saying? So like then you kind of take these lessons and go teach the people that y'all teach. You know what I'm saying? So technically, like if they hear my voice, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna sound a lot deeper than you telling them. Like you know what I'm saying? This is kind of like dot. Like I don't know. First of all, I don't even know who listening to this. Second of all, I don't know what you doing with this and how you passing it on to the next person. You know what I'm saying? But like I know that like if you showed them this my video, you know what I'm saying? Like if you were sitting there telling them a whole bunch of you sitting there telling them they ain't trying to listen, they ain't trying to listen. You tell them again, they ain't trying to listen, they ain't trying to listen. You tell them again, they still ain't trying to listen. You know what I'm saying? So then you go get my video and you sit there and show them my video, and then they sit there and listen, and all of a sudden they get it. And I'm saying they're saying the exact shit that you saying, but for some reason just me saying it, it just hit them different. Like you know what I'm saying? This is dot. Kinda. Like you know what I'm saying, like my dot per se, and then like I don't know how I'm gonna sound to the third party coming. You know what I'm saying? Like the you know when you take and go to the next person. You know what I'm saying? So you are an eventuality of somebody's die. Like somebody wasn't thinking this far. Like so your granddad, 9 out of 10, wasn't thinking this far. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying. So you're kind of walking around in a dot that ain't got no fucking like no foundation under. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? 9 out of 10, you was probably born under some Nedzak energy, which is like somebody was trying to be right. You know what I'm saying? So they was like, no, we're gonna do this, we're gonna make it right. You know, it was like it wasn't no like motherfuckers didn't see like that this came from a long line of lineage of like of previous thoughts. Like you know what I'm saying? That's what's fucked up. Like more than anything. Like you know what I'm saying? It's designed this way. It's a lot of things I want to tell you, you're just not really ready to hear it all. You know what I'm saying? But it was kind of designed for your dad to fail. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like Jay Z even had a line like this. He said I think it was on Moment of Clarity. Jay Z got a song called Moment of Clarity. That's some shit y'all should go listen to. Where he goes, Pop died, didn't cry, didn't know him that well. Between him doing heroin and me doing crack sales with that in the eggshell, standing at the tabernacle ready to church, pretending to be hurt, wouldn't cut it. So a smile was all on my face, like, damn, that man's face is just like my face. So Pop, I forgive you for all the shit that I've been through. It wasn't all your fault, homie. You got caught. That shit right there. You know what I'm saying? It's like, um, mind you, Jay Z understands this concept, you know what I'm saying? And like he calls himself Jehovah. Like you feel what I'm saying? So like Jay-Z is very wise. You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z got a way of saying shit that to you sound deep when it's like, nah, it is deep per se, but it's like it's just common sense. Like when you study the word so long enough, you start to see this shit as just common sense. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like on some moment of clarity shit, you kind of need a moment of clarity, like, you know what I'm saying, in your life. And this is what I'm talking about light. This is what I was talking about before. And then, like, you kind of need to see where this shit is going. If not, you just kind of be studying a bunch of shit that's all relative truths. Like, so it's not necessarily absolute truth. It's an absolute truth a lot of times starts with the way that your dad and, you know what I'm saying, really his dad, you know what I'm saying, you came from that. You know what I'm saying? So if that's not lined up, then you out here like a renegade type shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? That studying all type of esoteric shit trying to fix that when that's the real problem. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like don't get lost in this shit. Like you know, have a moment of clarity type shit. Like take a piece of advice from Jay Z and have a moment of clarity. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. You know. It's like I said, it's a lot of shit that I wish I could tell y'all, man. You know. But I think y'all gotta, you know, I don't like to underestimate y'all intelligence. You know what I'm saying? And I don't like to talk down. You know what I'm saying to y'all. So I be trying to just, you know what I'm saying, just give it in a way that, like, you know what I'm saying. It's like, you know, I don't want to overflow your glass, like, you know what I'm saying. But you need to start thinking about these things if you're gonna fuck with my channel. You know what I'm saying? Before you gotta start thinking about these. You gotta start thinking about this shit, Joe. This shit, nigga. Tell me about your fucking dad, nigga. Start asking people this shit and watch, nigga. Oh hell, you know, no, fuck all that, nigga. Tell me about your dad. I want to talk about your dad. You know, spend about a week just asking people to tell you stories about their fucking dad, nigga. Fuck all that astrology shit, fucking. And mind you, you can run it through your esoteric shit. You know, you wait. Oh, when was his birthday? What was his mom's birthday? Oh, okay. Well, why are you asking me? I'm just curious because, you know, I've been thinking about dads and just, you know, fathers, shit, you know, just been curious. Just trying to, I like hearing the irony of what dads go through not knowing that they lost in a fucking song. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, not knowing that they lost in this fucking algorithm. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it like Jay-Z, moment of clarity type shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, I kind of relate to that. It's like, yeah, how did I know you relate to that, motherfucker? Like, who's the real psychic here? You know what I'm saying? What are you looking for? You know, that shit. You know, um, it's a lot of shit I'm not telling y'all. But you got what you needed to hit. I'll let y'all. You did.